Well, we are 2 weeks into the Premier League season, and I think I want to go back and start it over again. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're tuning in. Thanks for listening. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. My name is James, and I have the unfortunate task of supporting Arsenal. Up on this top row with me is that's Brad. He supports Chelsea. And down below us is Sean. He is supporting Tottenham Hotspurs. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing? Did you guys have a good day today?
Yeah.
Good. Brad?
London is blue.
For now.
Okay. So
Had a great week.
There was a claim that London is blue. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it, but before we get too deep tonight, we just want to ask everyone, if you're listening, if you could like, comment, subscribe, follow us on social media, interact with us, do all those nice, fun things to help this podcast reach more people. And we really appreciate it. It really helps us out, and it helps you out because you won't be mildly inconvenienced if you don't do those things. Right,
Yes.
Sean?
Yes, you should do them, or the next warm drink of coffee that you're going to have is going to be a little too hot, and then you're not going to be able to really enjoy your lunch.
Oof. That would stink. That would not be fun.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Did that happen to you today? Did that happen today to you?
No, not at all.
Okay. I always wonder because like these things seem
Some of them have happened to me, yes.
They seem very like on the nose. Like, man, I just burned my tongue drinking coffee this morning, so
Now my sandwich isn't going to taste right.
maybe it should have been tea because this is an English football podcast.
Or tea, coffee.
Coffee, tea. Anyway, like we like to do on Red Card Radio, well, we're going to look at the league table as much as it pains me to do so. But
I love the table.
But as you can see, at the top is West Ham United, actually. They're in first position on 6 points. They are technically in first position on the goals scored aspect because they have scored more goals than everyone else, who is also on 6 points. 1 through 5 is 6 points, so it's Chelsea, Liverpool, Brighton and Hove, and Spurs. Then we've got a smattering of 4 points, 3 points, 1 point, and then a couple teams with no points. Okay.
Who's that?
Yes.
What
Okay.
about that?
Yes. Arsenal's in 19th. Arsenal's in 19th. Arsenal's in 19th. Arsenal's in 19th. All right. Get your jokes
relegation
out.
battle.
Let's go.
Relegation battle. That's all it is.
Okay. It wasn't a relegation battle last year when we were in 15th in December.
No, because
in November.
that's outside of the bottom three.
Again, I don't like looking at the league table until 10 weeks in, but I've screwed the pooch and set the podcast up this way, and so
At least they're not in last. There's Norwich below you guys.
Oh, don't worry, we might be last in 2 weeks when we play Norwich. They might beat us.
That'd be a relegation 6-pointer right there.
The fighting Tim Krul's. If you are just like us, just learn that there's Tim Krul still running around the pitch.
Well, I mean, he's playing goalie, so he's probably not doing a whole lot of running.
He's moving.
He is moving. That is a thing.
I was very surprised / alarmed when I saw Tim Krul between the wickets.
Newcastle legend Tim Krul
Didn't realize he was still playing there.
Yeah, back in the Premier League again. But yeah, so a couple surprises, I guess, in the league table. Brighton having a very good start to the season. Yeah, so I think that's that's one of the biggest surprises in the league table, I think, right now. Other than that,
they've beaten Burnley and Watford.
I mean,
but they're supposed to win those games, or are they supposed to? We don't know, but they're finally scoring goals. They played well last year. They played well defensively last year. They just couldn't score goals.
I'm just saying we got them. They beat two teams all of us think are going down this year.
I'm just saying that I think it's impressive that they won those games.
Okay.
I have Brighton and Hove going down.
Oh, I don't think so.
I thought I took them.
I thought we all had Watford.
I think we need to tweet the
you do
the sheet.
Yeah,
We'll tweet out the paper of trust and responsibility and we'll pin it to the top of our tweets.
You know what's funny is that Brad is trying to change the name from the Sheets of Integrity, and he doesn't even know what he's trying to change the name to. See, for the last 6 months, it was the paper of trust and respect. And
now it's responsibility.
Now it's the paper
responsibility to the people.
Paper of what responsibility? Like he just
trust and responsibility. It's the PTR still.
I just want to point out that you are inconsistent with your naming nomenclature. Anyway,
it's still PTR.
Anyway,
I just changed the initials.
We are way in the weeds here on a frivolous statement. But let me set up what we're talking about tonight. So, of course, we're going to talk your comments, talk a few comments that we had from this last week's episode. We're going to talk about the results from match week 2. We talk a little bit about officiating a little bit because we have seen there's been a change in emphasis in officiating this year as compared to last year that I want to have a conversation about. And then looking forward to next week, we have a bunch of EFL games, so the EFL starts, second round is this midweek, and then we have EPL games this weekend. Both of your clubs, Brad and Sean, are not involved in the EFL yet because you guys are in European football. Since this is the first time in 26 years that Arsenal haven't been involved in European football, I didn't know that any Premier League clubs came into the EFL Cup at the second round, which is apparently a thing. I didn't know that. I was ignorant to this until I saw it like 15 minutes ago. But we're going to talk about that, and then we'll talk about the Premier League match week 3 coming up. But we'll touch on comments from last week. Jimmy on YouTube thinks Brad sucks at talking smack, and he also thinks that Chelsea was lucky to win the Super Cup. Brad,
they won.
Okay,
but they won.
So Brad agrees. The response of they were lucky to win, and then your response is,
what does it matter if they're lucky to win or not? Who cares if they were lucky or not? A win's a win.
Yes, that is a factual statement. But saying you don't disagree that they were lucky to win.
It's a penalty shootout. Whoever wins is lucky.
Okay, his statement was not about the penalty shootout. His statement was that for like 80 minutes of the game, he thought that Villarreal were a better team.
I feel like 80 minutes is a stretch. I feel like the last 30 they might have been. But 80 minutes is a stretch.
Okay.
As it goes to penalties, it's luck. It's
I didn't watch it. Do you guys play the full squad?
Kind of. Yeah.
Tammy play?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Chaloba's starting, so yeah, I guess we played most of it, except Timo was starting.
Yeah, he's like third string.
He's our backup striker. We're selling everybody else. Everybody else get out the club.
I'm not even sure he's a backup striker at this point. I don't know if
we don't have a third one.
I don't know if he plays for you guys this season in the Premier League. I don't know.
He played on Saturday unless you turned it off.
No, I was watching.
Or Sunday. He played on Sunday.
Yeah,
he played on Sunday.
Okay, for how many minutes? Like, didn't he come in like the 70th or the 80th?
Like 10, 15.
Something like that. So, like, that doesn't count.
I think
it was a low-pressure situation. That doesn't count. Will, also on YouTube, his comments in response to my reaction last week about Arsenal's defeat to Brentford. I think I was basically not surprised, or I don't know. I wasn't effusive enough.
Apathetic?
Maybe I was apathetic. I was not effusive enough in my how upset I was. And so he thinks that this is kind of an indictment of the culture going on at Arsenal. And that his specific comment is that he's disappointed in the way that Arsenal reacted when they went down 2-0 against Brentford. He thought that a team, if you go down 2-0 against the third place championship team for last year, like, you should just be going all out to score goals, going all out to win. And he thought that the Arsenal team looked like they were just like, well, okay, whatever, this game's over, and they kind of gave up. He wants Arsenal, or he thinks that Arsenal should be targeting players that have just like determination is their number one attribute, and that all they're worried about is just like giving 110%, as cliche as that sounds. And he wonders if Arteta is the person for the Arsenal job at this moment. He brings up Conte, that Antonio Conte is available, and he's a Juve supporter, and he knows that when Juventus signed Conte, they were very close to being like winning in Italy again, but Conte put them over the top, and that's when they started. Conte started their 9 Scudetti run He was the manager that started that run for them. And so he instilled a very strong work ethic in that Juventus side. And that's kind of what Conte is known for. And he says, well, like, Conte's available. Go get Conte. That's the type of manager you need. I don't disagree, like, wholeheartedly with that sentiment. I just don't know if Antonio Conte is coming to Arsenal in Arsenal's current state.
I mean, you guys are spending money, so I don't see why he would be put off by the challenge of Arsenal.
Yeah,
because Chelsea was what 10th when he took over.
Yeah, but Chelsea have an unlimited checkbook.
Arsenal spent more than Chelsea right now.
Yes, I understand that Arsenal have spent more than Chelsea at this moment, but Chelsea have an unlimited checkbook, and Arsenal do not have an unlimited checkbook. Like, there's reports coming out today that Arsenal are trying to move Lacazette and Nketiah, and that they'd be willing to listen to offers for Aubameyang. If you're willing to sell Lacazette and Aubameyang, what's going on? Like, clearly,
false nine.
Like who is attacking for Arsenal? Like, they're willing to listen to these things in order to raise funds. Is what the headlines. I think Charles Watt put that out, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. I'd have to double check. But like, there's reports that are coming out. So like, the Arsenal are clearly concerned about how much they've spent. Yes, I know Arsenal have spent the most this offseason, but that's not, I don't think, indicative of what's been going on recently.
I would disagree. I don't think you guys haven't not been active in the transfer market.
I agree.
I mean, you're not blowing all of your money on one player, but you guys have been very active. Pepe, Partey
Partey was relatively inexpensive. Like, if you look comparative, it was 45.
Right, but like, it's not an insignificant amount of money.
I don't disagree.
So, I mean, I don't see why Conte would have a problem there. But I definitely agree that I think it has to be time for Arteta to, like, that seat is very hot.
I'll take it a different way.
Okay.
Different way to look at it. Conte's very proud of his work, and he should be, from all the winning he's done and all, like you said, the Juve turnaround, the Chelsea winning at Chelsea. Not that was a turnaround. That was coming off Jose's second, correct? Or right before Jose's second.
It was right. It was after Jose's second.
Coming off Jose's second. So that wasn't really a turnaround, but that's kind of keeping the train rolling in a different way. But he's basically been a winner wherever he goes. I don't think that would be a hard pitch if you could get him in a room to be the one to bring back Arsenal. I
mean, I rate Conte. I'm all in for Conte.
He's a good manager.
I remember how mad you were in the old group chat when he came to Chelsea.
Yeah, I want this is the problem. Like, especially when Conte first came to England, it was the same time that Pep was coming to England. It was the same time that Klopp was coming to England. Conte was coming to England, and we still had Wenger. And I'm like, look, like, we all see that Wenger is kind of nearing the end of his term at Arsenal. I was never like vocally Wenger out. Like, I love Arsene Wenger, but clearly he was not where he used to be. Like, or at least it's hard to necessarily articulate. But it seems like Arsene Wenger stayed like one season or 2 seasons too long, and Arsenal missed out on a lot of top quality manager prospects. Missed out on Pep, missed out on Klopp, missed out on Conte. I'm not saying that all 3 of those managers would have been interested in Arsenal at that time or would have signed for Arsenal at that time, but we clearly did miss out on the opportunity to even have a conversation with those managers. I want to bring it back real quick about, like, the Arsenal have been spending money. I wonder if they sack Arteta and go out and say they sign Conte. I don't know if Arsenal would have the financial capability to continue to sign Conte players after having just signed Arteta players, is I guess the point that I should have made, is that without selling players before, I don't know if we would have the ability to sign new players.
You're going to sell. Aubameyang's gone in his current form.
But the problem is
under Conte.
But who's buying him? He's on 3.
I don't think so.
He's on 3.
Yeah, you could. You're not going to get the money back for him, but you could You could get 40, 50 million for Aubameyang. You could get 30, 40 for Lacazette.
I don't know.
You flip another one, and you've got 100 mil. Go get you two good players.
I
Start it that way.
I don't
I
know.
don't see how they don't play under Conte though. Like your team
They-
is
they
kind of
would. They'd
almost
have to.
built for Conte.
I mean, in a way, in the
Probably a
Premier
center
League, I
way.
have not personally seen Aubameyang work his butt off.
Yeah, I could see Lacazette playing for Conte. I don't.
Yeah, okay, that one's a little bit closer, but Aubameyang
Yeah.
is not what he was when he was in Germany. I have not seen it.
He was for the first 2 seasons.
First
with
couple
Arsenal.
seasons, yeah.
Like he was still it. But COVID hit and like something happened.
He seems dejected. Maybe
He doesn't
maybe
seem
he's not
happy.
Yeah, he does not seem. That's the better way to put it. He does not seem happy.
So
But-
I have a question here.
Go for it.
Who has lost more games at the Emirates? Arteta or Wenger?
Arteta.
It's official. In 20 months, he has lost more games
Yeah.
than Wenger did in 6 years. That's impressive.
It was more than 6 years for Wenger.
Well, at
Yeah.
the Emirates.
Yeah, we moved into the Emirates in 06.
Yeah, before that it was the O2, right?
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, we were
No,
at
that's-
Was it the?
right.
You were at the what?
Highbury. We were at Highbury.
Hybrid. That's right.
Um, Arteta has lost more games at home, I think, than
That's his
Wenger.
point. It's
Wenger.
at the Emirates.
Well, Wenger only coached in the Premier League for Arsenal.
I know, but that's what it specifies: Premier League home games, not like European home games.
Yeah.
We see what you're getting. It's 12 years versus 20 months.
Yeah.
That's astronaut. Like
Yeah.
that seat has to be one. They have to be
Wait.
having conversations.
And I don't count the year. What was that? 2017 or 16? You can count it if you want. Arsenal finished second because that was the Leicester year. Arsenal finished second because Tottenham gave up. I don't know what happened the last couple games. I think you guys remember what I'm talking about.
The Leicester season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arsenal ended up finishing second because Tottenham couldn't get out of their own way.
Arsenal finished second because we were injured. We should have won the league that year, but we got injuries that year.
But other than, I was going to say, I'm not counting that because Tottenham got out of the way. When was the last time Arsenal really, really, really contended?
08, I believe we should have won the league, but we had Eduardo injury, and I think 08 we should have won the league. I think it was 12 we should have won the league, or we could have won the league. Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since we've been consistently challenging in the league.
I just think if you can pitch that right, that's something Conte looks at and says, I can do that.
Honestly, if Antonio Conte said tonight, I would coach Arsenal, I would be gung ho. I'd be like, I love Mikel Arteta. I don't want to see Mikel Arteta fired. I don't want that to
You'd
happen.
move him to a
No,
assistant role or something.
He wouldn't stay.
No.
He wouldn't stay.
Yeah.
And Conte wouldn't allow him to stay in the sense that like
Yeah, in case he had some of the locker room. Yeah,
you wouldn't want that hanging over. So you
Yeah,
have to get rid of him. But I don't want that to happen to Arteta. I want Arteta to win. I want Arteta to bring Arsenal back. But if tomorrow Conte was like, I would coach Arsenal, hell yeah. In a second I would do that. Because Conte has been there and he knows how to do it. And Conte is a winner. Like the dude's a winner. And even if he only gave Arsenal 4 years, if he gave Arsenal 4 years and we were consistently in the Champions League and we were consistently challenging and maybe we won a title, I'd be for it. I'd be with it.
Do you think it's too soon for Arteta to have coached Arsenal?
Clearly. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Seems
Kind of the same way with Frank. Like you're sounding exactly how I sounded with Frank last year. Like
I mean, like
I don't want to see him go. I know our results aren't there,
but Frank Lampard had more managerial experience than Mikel Arteta did.
that's true. He had one more season in the championship.
Like you don't just like I don't see how you're first.
Arteta-
Anyway,
Arteta-
we're a little wide here. I will just say I think that Arteta, like I don't think you can walk into a and this is a great example. Andrea Pirlo last year, his first managerial job was Juventus.
Yeah.
Like you don't just like walk into a team that expects to be fighting for the Champions League, expects to be fighting for the championship every year. Like that's incredibly difficult.
You're not wrong.
So
They're on the Club Legends hype.
I can understand why Arsenal did it to a degree.
But wasn't he like the second choice after Unai?
Well, for some people, he was the first choice.
Right, but I'm saying like it was between those two.
Yeah, it was between Unai Emery and Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, so when Unai didn't work out, then I guess it's Arteta's chance.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that there's been a lot of hype around Arteta for whatever reason as a manager, and Arsenal didn't want to.
Pep.
Well, Pep and Pochettino rated him highly, and Wenger had really high praise for him.
Yeah.
But I think that anyway. Do you guys want to talk about results?
Let's do it. I love talking about results.
So I'm just going to give you guys a rapid fire of what happened at the weekend. Liverpool beat Burnley 2-0. Villa beat Newcastle 2-0. Palace and Brentford played to a 0-0 draw. Leeds and Everton, which all three of us thought would be a good game, was indeed a good game. It drew 2-2. City beat the fighting Tim Krul's in Norwich 5-0. Tim Krul did not do much fighting in that game.
No. He's trying. He's trying his best, all right? Tim Krul's trying, and his hair.
And his hair. Brighton beat Watford 2-0. Southampton held Manchester United to a 1-1 draw. That was a good result for Southampton and was a pretty fun game to watch. Wolves lost to Spurs in Nuno's return to the Molineux. Arsenal lost to Chelsea 2-0. Lukaku back in the league scored his first goal was that his first goal for Chelsea? I thought so, yeah.
Yes.
And then
first back, yeah.
Well, no,
Reece James with a banger.
We'll talk about it, Brad.
I know.
And then West Ham demolished Leicester today 4-1.
Was your second wrong statement of next week from last week?
I thought
you thought Leicester was going to smash West Ham.
Okay, yes, I did think that, and I think that if Leicester don't lose a man in the 40th minute to a red card, that game might be different, and we might be having a different conversation.
West Ham was already up 1-0, but anyways.
Yeah, okay, but being up 1-0 and playing 11 on 11 is different than being up 1-0 and playing 11 on 10.
Yes.
Like the game is over if the game is over at that point. Like as long as West Ham don't entirely defecate all over the bed, the game is over. So let's start kind of Liverpool. I think it's a good place to start. That's Sean's pick to win the Premier League this year. Handled business at home against Burnley.
I don't think that's worthy of even giving much time.
Burnley played very well, and McNeil is a beast on that left side. He ate Trent alive all game.
Didn't Trent assist both of them?
I'm talking on the defense. I'm like going forward.
Trent at least assisted one.
Yes,
yeah.
Correct.
With a great assist.
But that's the thing about Trent. That's the thing about TA is that he is going to cross the ball a billion times, and he's going to cross the ball a billion times really, really well. He's great at crossing, but his liabilities, his deficiency is his defending. That's why he's been left out of the English squad.
He was injured.
No, he was still beat, but no, he was not. He was back healthy.
Yeah.
By then,
I don't think you play Trippier over Trent.
I think you do for the defensive structure.
Gareth Southgate does. Gareth Southgate does.
Well, we have like he got very in a lot of detail chronicled how bad Southgate was. So I would not just say, "Oh, Southgate does."
Watch out.
2-0. Well, I think 2-0 was unfair in that game. 2-1, 1-0. Sure. I thought Burnley played very well in that game.
I thought Burnley played well for Burnley. I don't think they matched up well against Liverpool. Salah had like a half-foot offside goal disallowed. Mane had like 2 or 3 chances before he actually scored his. So I'm not saying they should have won the game. I'm
saying they deserved a goal. There was I
don't even know if that's true.
Trent kicked the ball off the line, I think. I'm remembering correctly.
I'm trying to remember the highlights. I think that's a fair result. This Villa Newcastle game was actually, I think, pretty good. Did you have another comment about the Liverpool game, Sean?
I was going to move on further. So
okay, I just want to. So this Villa Newcastle game was interesting. Danny Ings scored a worldie. He had a bicycle kick in like the 47th minute in the first half in extra time.
Of course he did.
Dude, that goal was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then we had our first VAR thing of the weekend, big VAR thing. In the second half, Villa, I think it was Tyrone Mings, had a header on like the 6-yard box, and a Newcastle player had his arms out, kind of shoulder height. Ball hit his arm, and I don't think there was a penalty awarded on the play. No, there wasn't a penalty awarded on the play, but VAR went back and awarded a penalty for handball. And in watching it personally, I thought it was a good call. I thought VAR made the right decision there. I thought it was a handball. The arm was in my opinion, an unnatural position. It like being out like shoulder height straight out, and the ball hits your hand in the penalty box. I think that's unfortunately a handball. I don't know if you guys had a different opinion on that.
No, I agree, especially with a shot going towards goal.
Yeah.
Or a header going towards goal. I'm with you.
And then Newcastle had a penalty disallowed in the second half due to like a foot being offside. So there were a couple of VAR decisions. That game could have been really different because Callum Wilson had a chance early in the first half, could have scored a goal. And if Newcastle's up 1-0, I wonder how different that game is.
Yeah.
Sean, where did you want to move on to? Which game do you want to talk about?
Just a slight touch, because I don't think there's much to take away from City Norwich. But I just wanted to point out that the two games I thought were very important to teams, Leeds that got blown out week 1, and Brentford, who had a good win and you needed to show up the next one, kind of did. I mean, Brentford 0-0 Palace. You'd like to see a win coming off the Arsenal win,
but it's away from home.
But you didn't lose. You didn't go there and get your butt whooped.
Yeah,
that's the type of response coming off a big win, first home top flight game in 74 years. The high of that, and then you go to South London and you get a point.
It's a derby.
That's what keeps you in the Premier League.
Yeah.
That type of result right there, and then Leeds responding with Everton's a good team. Well, that's a good response.
Especially about Leeds, they went down twice in that game. They had to come back twice in that game. It's maybe not a good result if you think about like they were at home and they maybe expected to win that game against Everton, but it's a good result when you're able to come back from. To
getting battered,
being down. I don't know if they were being battered.
They weren't being battered. They were, and at the end of the game, they were the ones on the front.
I was referring to last week. I was referring to the United game. Yeah. You bounce back with a resounding 1 point after getting battered last week.
Yeah. I
thought that was important.
Yeah, I think that's good for Leeds.
And Palace Brentford is a derby game, so that's even. I think a draw there.
I guess. Yeah, I forget Brentford's also in London, but yeah.
Yep.
Almost nothing to say about the City Norwich result.
Nope. That's why I thought we'd spend a little time on the two little guys right there.
I'll say this: Jack Grealish had a ball ricochet off his shin for his first home goal for City. Jack Grealish did not shoot that ball. Jack Grealish did not score that goal. The ball hit off of him and went into the net.
Jack Grealish's hair also makes him look like a small child is trying to be Jack Grealish for Halloween.
Maybe I was so offended by those Manchester City kits because it was Jack Grealish in it, and like that was like weird for my eyes. But those Manchester City jerseys this year, those home kits are not good in my opinion.
We're not talking kits.
Is that because yours are garbage?
The ugliest things ever.
I mean, Arsenal have pretty good kits this year. Arsenal have had pretty good kits over the last couple of seasons. I would take crap kits for good football. I will make that trade. Give me Puma back. I will take some Puma kits if I could be challenging in the league.
And Tottenham's added themselves to the bus seats look with their third kit. Looking like 1995, threw up everywhere.
That Tottenham shirt, those are disgusting.
I don't want to
talk
about it either.
Is.
Yo, Sean, can you please buy one of those and wear it for the podcast?
Absolutely not. I wouldn't wear it if it was free.
So if I send you like a Dele Alli shirt or a Sun
It would-
shirt in that
it would have
that kit,
It would have to be a bet that I lose. That's how bad it is.
that shirt.
There's
Elaine's coming.
there's
Shirt's coming.
there's already those kits in the pub already, and I'm just looking at them with disdain.
Those
Like,
things are offensive.
It's bad. Whoever approved that needs to be fired.
I think the problem is that a lot of these like shirt manufacturing companies, so like Adidas, Nike, Puma, they have so much leeway in the shirts that they're making for the clubs that like as long as they're the right colors, as long as the home kit is the right color, they can do whatever the fuck they want with the second and third shit.
The away kit and the home kit will be like the regular colors, and then the third kit is
not always though.
Let's spend some money.
I mean,
let's spend some money.
There have been some neon yellow Chelsea away shirts.
There's one this year. It just has the black stripes, and yellow I think is a traditional, very like old color for Chelsea.
Okay, but like highlighter yellow is not a traditional color.
Yeah. Correct.
Next week's inconvenience
Nike is the worst jersey. Like I want to go back to Adidas. Bring me back. Like look, this is all I need. Just a blue shirt. But like, I mean, I get it because it's boring, right? If you just blue with a slight stripe, but blue with funky patterns, with two different patterns.
Bro, y'all
is hideous.
Y'all look like two Greyhound buses got cut apart and sewn together.
Damn, it just like collided.
Next week's inconvenience is to if you don't like, subscribe, rate and review and comment, then you're gonna have to sit in a room with a person wearing a Tottenham away kit and a Chelsea away kit and just sit around them for like 3 hours.
The Chelsea home kit.
Chelsea kit. That's even worse.
The away kit isn't bad for Chelsea this year. I mean, it's not great, but it's not bad. I wish they would just like erase the black lines, and it's so much better. Just a clean yellow kit.
We have an international break in like a week and a half or something like that. Maybe for that episode we should do a rate the kit episode.
I'm here for it. Let's do it. And then United can't score against Southampton.
What men's league softball team did Man U borrow those jerseys off of? By the way, while we're talking about that, that looked like an adult slow pitch softball team. For our European people, it's baseball, but a bigger ball, and you have to throw it
underhand.
Yeah, I'm trying to
not fast.
Be like if you like played cricket, but instead of like throwing the ball hard and at the ground at the wickets, you like tried to like loop it and loft it into the wickets.
Yeah,
I don't actually know if we have any English listeners, I don't know if we had any English listeners that wouldn't understand a baseball reference.
They're kids. No, there's baseball fans.
Exactly, that's my point.
Yeah, their kits usually get a little loopy, and that's what United's look like.
I mean, that game was pretty good. Southampton had a lot of opportunities before they conceded. I think
on the one goal that was scored, Maguire looked. Was he out for a Saturday walk, or what was he doing?
Sunday walk.
He looked uninterested in defending that ball. And De Gea should have saved it. That was another thing.
They haven't brought Varane in yet, so he doesn't feel the pressure that he has to perform.
De Gea should have saved that easily.
It's Harry Maguire, man.
De Gea. I don't know how is De Gea still starting over Henderson.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Like I'm curious.
That might have been the one. That goal should have been blocked.
Like if you're Dean Henderson, why are you still there? Why are you not pushing to move out?
Or that.
Especially after you see somebody like Martinez leave Arsenal and become like a very, very good goalie with international success.
But I think the thing is, if you look at Dean Henderson and you're like, well, De Gea, I think De Gea doesn't have a very long contract left.
Probably not much anymore.
No.
Now, if United were to like re-up De Gea on another long-term deal this year, it might be like, yo, what the heck? And he might jump ship at that point. But he's so close to being the United number one that, because the thing about Emmy, and the reason why Emmy left was because like he wasn't going to be the Arsenal number one. The only reason he was playing was because Leno got injured, and like when that happens, even if you play amazingly, and the starter didn't do anything to lose his spot, he was just injured. So when he comes back, he still gets a chance to be He just gets his
Right.
job back, and he gets to just continue to play until he gives the club a reason for him to lose his spot. And Emmy wasn't willing to wait another 6 months for that to happen.
But if Henderson wants to be like England's number 1, you're not passing Pickford by being United's number 2.
Agreed, but he's what, like 26? Henderson's like 26 or something like that?
Henderson's younger than that.
Is okay, I thought he was like 26.
He came from a club where he was getting battered all the time and saving
24.
everything.
Okay. If he's 24, he's got like 14 years left where he could be a top-level goalkeeper. So, like, I don't think it's bad. Pickford is just not good. So
I agree.
I think clearly we all know that the next England number 1 is Aaron Ramsdale. We all know that. So let's just put that to bed. Let's just put a bow on that, put that out to pasture.
How much did he cost you?
24.
Plus?
A 6 for incentives if we reach those incentives. I think one of the
Which is him starting.
But starting regularly. I think it's a lot
Right.
of appearances and like successive European appearances. And I don't know if they give European places to championship teams in England. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I also did not know Dean Henderson is a academy player
Yes.
for United. He has been just loaned out. I just remember him getting battered at Sheffield, but saving a lot, and probably the only reason that they were respectable.
That's true. When they lost him.
And then they pulled him back, yeah.
So that's another reason for why he would stay.
Yeah, he's an academy player there.
Yeah. Sean, talk to me about this this Wolves game.
I heard. I don't often hear a lot of pundits say things that perk my ears up. But I heard an interesting take today, recapping the games about the kind of the ending of Nuno at Wolves without Jimenez, and what that allowed, because they were primarily a counterattack team, and having Jimenez allows you the ability to do that. And that's what he's trying to implement here. And Tottenham have always been pretty good at that, but they're also fairly decent at the link-up play. They're not on a level of like a City or someone a lot better at it, but they've always been okay, or Chelsea. They've always been fair, or Arsenal for that matter, traditionally. Yeah, maybe not recently, but traditionally. But the pundit was saying, and I forget who it was, someone on NBC, was saying what's going to happen now that the first 2 games they have played have been largely in possession. City holds possession. That's how they do. That's how Tottenham was able to win that. And Pep's not going to change his style.
Yeah.
And Wolves, they basically Spurs just gave them possession. Managers are going to catch on to that, and that's what they did at Wolves, and just basically said, "Here, you have the ball, and we're not going to press you.
Beat us.
Yeah, beat us."
Interesting.
And that was an interesting take. So, yeah, I'll take the 3 points. But that'll be interesting to see moving forward, because if we're not going to be able to sit back under his tactics, I don't know if we're going to be able to do it, or if our individual skill will be able to overcome, because we've been able to do it in the past.
That's an interesting analysis. That will be interesting to watch long term. Specifically about that game, I will say I turned it on, I think, midway through the first half, and especially towards the end of the game, it just looked like as many times as Wolves were going to attack Tottenham, they were just never going to score. It didn't matter how many times Wolves attacked. It just, the ball was just not going to go into the net for them, or the cross was just going to let them down, or whatever. You guys looked like you were under siege, but it was one of those circumstances where it didn't matter what Wolves were doing to Spurs. The ball was not going to go in the net for them.
Well, that's what I said last week about City. Is that was one thing that I was really impressed with the defense is, although there were a lot of shots or a lot of attempted shots, most of the positioning was so good that they were all just blocked by a defender.
I mean, but what I was watching...
So is that not what you're pointing out?
No. My point was that against a more clinical team, I think that you guys would have lost that game against Wolves.
Okay.
And to your point, I guess that's a good point that you're bringing up. You're saying, well, we did play a more clinical team the week before, and they didn't score. So maybe my point is missing the mark. But I don't know. It just seemed like it was one of those circumstances. You know, like when you're watching something and you're like, oh, this is just not going to happen. Maybe it happens a lot for me because I'm an Arsenal fan and like we go down a lot, especially in recent memory. But it's like, oh, we go down. It's just like, yeah, like this is one of those games where the opposing goalkeeper is just going to have the game of their life or whatever, and the ball's just never going to go in for us. That's just what it felt like watching the end of that game.
I also wanted to point out, were you guys able to watch most all of the game?
I feel like
bits and pieces.
Traore tore Tanganga up. After his great game against City, Traore was around the corner every time. Anytime he wanted.
But he didn't do anything with it.
No, he did not.
Most of his crosses like didn't beat the first defender. Like, so yeah, that was my point, is that like he would get by with the ball on the ground, he would get by the first defender, or he'd just like muscle past somebody, dribble past somebody, whatever. But then he would cross and it just wouldn't, like, it was just always gobbled up. So
well, I guess that's what I was saying about last week then. So it's similar. You're noticing a similar thing.
Okay, gotcha.
The positioning of the defense was exactly where they needed to be when they needed to be.
Got you.
Which is horrifying to think for me.
Yeah.
Because Dyer's been back there both times, and that means Dyer's going to continue to play.
I mean, until Romero is healthy, I think that's the stat. But like, I don't think Tottenham scores if there's not that penalty, though.
I don't remember.
I also, unless I'm not remembering it correctly, that seemed like a weak penalty to me. Am I remembering it right?
I don't remember seeing it. So
it was. Dele just jumped.
I think there was definitely contact and something to be made of it. But it just seemed soft. If I'm remembering it right in my head,
was that the one where the defender kind of slid in and Dele Alli kind of like just jumped over his leg, fell over his leg, or something like that?
Oh yeah. He stuck. That's what it was. He stuck his leg down. Now, however, he got the ball around. He was that's right. He outside footed it to get it away. However, that's going towards the corner. He's not going to do anything with it once he gets it over there. So not denying a goal scoring opportunity because he would have been.
It doesn't matter, unfortunately.
It's in the box.
But the only content that's what I remember thinking. Okay, so that's why I made a mental note. As he goes over the leg, he sticks his right foot down, clips the top leg. That wouldn't have hit him if he continued his jump, and then that was the penalty.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that seems soft to me.
Yeah, like
I don't think they should have gave him that.
Yeah. Okay. I remember that now.
Yeah, I think that game's a draw without that penalty, and I agree with you. But it was a very good game.
How about before we move on? How about Dele telling everybody to pick one and suck it and taking it himself? Like I was like, Dele? There's Heung-min Son, there's Lucas, there's Bergwijn.
I mean, my man didn't get to play football last year. My man,
18 months.
My man was not allowed to play football last year. So he's like,
that was his first goal in 18 months, I think, right?
Yeah, maybe that was a Nuno thing. Man, go get you some confidence.
Heck yeah,
go get it.
Well, I mean, I've said that the first penalty that Arsenal win this year, I want whoever is the designated taker to hand the ball to Saka and let Saka score it. Okay,
it almost happened.
It should have happened, Brad.
It almost happened.
Tell me. There's nothing much to talk about this Arsenal game. We said beforehand that this game could go like one of two ways. Either Arsenal somehow like luck out a victory on a Chelsea defensive error, or Chelsea slap Arsenal. It was and it was like 95% Chelsea slap Arsenal, 5% that Arsenal win on a defensive error, and like the 95% like outcome happened. So,
hey Jimmy, do you want to know how to be a championship level club?
Oh my God!
You go to their house, you score 2 and get out. I was waiting for that one. You guys couldn't stop Lukaku at all, and it wasn't like we were throwing the ball in the air and he was muscling. It was right to his feet. Nobody in front, nobody blocking the passing lanes.
Mari looked lost.
Mari was lost, and then I don't even know who the other defender was.
Rob Holding.
But like then, I
didn't think Holding looked bad, but Mari looked lost.
Mari got bullied for that first goal.
That's why I was yelling at you guys the other day saying Toby wouldn't start for Arsenal.
And
Pablo
Holding doesn't start.
Pablo Mari is like third or fourth choice at Arsenal.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're missing both.
You said when you defended it, you said Mari.
Okay,
So.
I did, but I think in my defense, I said I am a homer, and
Yeah, okay.
and I have anti Tottenham bias. So like saying anyway,
he would start there, and it would have helped you yesterday.
I felt really bad for.
What I will say is that we're missing both of our first choice center backs in Gabriel and Ben White.
That doesn't stop Lukaku.
I don't know if Ben White is stopping Lukaku.
None of them are.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, you feel sorry for Tierney, right? Or
I did
Smith
for this game
Rowe,
because no. How does Tierney the position that Tierney was in was okay? Do I cover Havertz or do I stop Reece? And he stayed inside to block Havertz, and Reece just ran up that right flank all game long. That's how he got his goal. And the cross to Lukaku right to his feet.
Well, the problem is that on defense, the way that we were shaped up is that Xhaka was dropping back to be kind of like the middle center back, but the problem is like Tierney just never trusted, especially on the Reece goal. Tierney didn't trust that the three between Xhaka, Mari, and Holding would be able to deal with Lukaku and Havertz, and so he comes narrow, and that just leaves a lot of space. So like, I don't want to say that Tierney was at fault for the James goal, but
I wasn't saying either. But
he might be at fault because he was just way out of position.
He made a choice. He made a choice to come in and take out that pass into Havertz.
James. I just wonder if that was a necessary choice.
Right.
I don't remember specifically on this. Who had the ball?
Lukaku started both runs.
Well, Lukaku.
No, in the decision that Tierney made, who had the ball?
I think Lukaku received the ball and passed somewhere else.
Passed back to Kovacic, who then hit Reece James on the run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kovacic had the ball, but it was like Lukaku.
That's got to be communicated.
Lukaku had his back to goal. Pass came into Lukaku. Lukaku pops it back out to his midfield. And midfield pass to the.
I feel like that those runs just have to be communicated. That if you're going to cover Havertz, that's fine, but somebody's got to go out to James.
But the problem is there's no one available to go out to James if Tierney comes in to cover Havertz. He can't.
Xhaka wasn't quite there yet. When that goal happened, Xhaka wasn't there. Xhaka was up more. They were playing the four at the back.
Yeah,
and Mari and Holding had to stay with Lukaku. So Tierney had to choose between Havertz or James, and he chose Havertz more than he chose James, and it was just.
You choose the one inside. It's the one you choose.
Right. Because then you can defend the cross. I'm not mad at it.
You choose the one with the most dangerous opportunity to score a goal. And that's what he did.
The Chelsea fans' chants was you're going down, and then at the end of the game, is there a fire drill? That's my favorite chant. Is there a fire drill going on?
Because the Arsenal fans were leaving?
Or running out the stadium.
They're running out to AFTV to yell.
Yes, they were.
Probably.
I just
this gotta be awkward to yell about your son, though, doesn't it? Your son's scoring the goal. Isn't Reese's daddy on there, or am I mistaken on AFTV?
I think you're mistaken.
I might be wrong.
Oh,
I don't know.
I just thought
I don't watch AFTV.
Brad is like disproving his point of his dominance by bragging about beating Arsenal in their current state.
We didn't play well. I mean, like I will have a couple defenses at least, or a shred of defense for Arsenal. We were absolutely hounded on that penalty call, on that no penalty call on Saka. Like, that is a stone cold penalty 99.9% of the time, and the 0.1% of the time it's not is when it's an Arsenal player that gets fouled that way.
Hold on. What did you say last week about VAR?
It sucks.
When I talked about the West Ham game. No, you said VAR is there to see if there was contact. If there's contact made on the player, then they go to the ref's decision.
Well, the ref's decision
decided no penalty.
The ref's decision was blatantly wrong. It was a clear and obvious error.
But if they're feigning to what the ref says on the play, then VAR did his job there.
Okay, but what I'm saying
then
is
what are we going to VAR for then?
What I'm saying is that the ref made the wrong decision, and VAR did a poor job at not telling him that he made a clear and obvious error.
If that's the call, Brad, what's the point of VAR?
So what you're saying is that the ref saw the contact, said
And
I
decided it was a penalty.
said I see that there is a so this is what he saw. He saw the Chelsea player having no interest playing the ball, kicking the leg of the Arsenal player in the box and saying, "Nope, that's not a foul." Saying, "I see all of this. This is not a foul." And VAR says, "Hey, Paul Tierney, we have a Chelsea player kicking the legs of an Arsenal player in the box, contact in the box. Oh no, I saw that. There was clearly no foul. That's what you're saying happened.
That's what happened. That's had to be what happened.
Paul,
I don't see another decision here.
It's a horrible decision.
Then VAR is not working as it currently stands.
And that referee is not working either. And he needs to get out.
He needs to be not working.
He needs to be doing Sunday League or League 2. He could go do League 2 football because he clearly doesn't have what it takes to be a Premier League match official, because that was a horrible decision. And Brad, as much as you want to defend, you of all people should be like, yeah, that was a foul.
It was a penalty, but if VAR is going to say, if this is the new VAR, in that we're going to go to the ref's decision more than turning it over and more penalty kicks and more everything. I've liked the games. They felt more open. There's less diving.
So then scrap VAR then. What are we doing?
It was such a bad call. It was an astronomically bad call. Now, I'm not saying that if Arsenal get that penalty, Arsenal score the penalty, that the game ends any different other than 2-1. I'm not making the claim that Arsenal would have gone on to win the game.
There were two awesome saves.
That's a horrible
Leno
goal.
and Mendy.
Yeah, Leno had a great save on Lukaku.
So did Mendy. I thought that was going in.
Although it's a great story, the point of having VAR is to not have a hand of God situation where Diego Maradona has to say that Jesus himself saved the ball from going out of bounds when he daggone well he volleyball slapped it back in.
Or Thierry Henry
scoring
a handball against Ireland. Yeah,
the point of having a VAR is, although they're great stories, the point of VAR is to not have that.
Yeah, the point of VAR is to clear up when Reece James obviously kicks Bukayo Saka in the box for a penalty. That's what VAR is clearly.
As it is in USA Sports, how they say it for instant replay, it is to clean up clear and obvious errors, which that was.
That was an obvious error, and it was clear. And Brad, when you were having your stupid Twitter debate with me about this,
how do you get for the views?
I didn't.
You're going to get more views to Red Card Radio.
I'm glad you didn't text me, because I would have lit you up in a private conversation.
Actually, we want that on Twitter.
It would have been bad.
Want that.
We should have done that more on Twitter.
I was seething.
I knew you were. I knew you would be as soon as I said it. As soon as I sent it, I knew. I knew this.
We don't seem to be the only ones disappointed with the officiating.
Oh yeah,
seems like Klopp and Ole have issues too.
This is different to a degree. So the point of emphasis in the Premier League refereeing this year has been that football is a contact sport. The idea is that last year there were too many soft fouls being called, and there was too many soft VAR decisions coming back and calling plays back for fouls and things like that. And so we've seen in the first 2 weeks quite a few quite a few harder tackles. And Klopp and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer have come out and been like, look, this is probably too much. I think that we've gone from one end of the pendulum all the way to the other end. I don't know if that's necessary. I don't think it's that extreme yet, but I think that if we could see some leg breaker tackles this year. If Burnley are given any more freedom, Sean Dyche is out here going to be having people slide tackling everyone in the 96th minute down 5-0. I could see him being like, yo, you got to go get that ball, and there could be some legs snapped. So I don't think it's quite as extreme yet, but should we get to the point where someone has their leg broken before we have a conversation about this? I think the point that they're bringing up is not it shouldn't fall on deaf ears, in my opinion.
I think
Brett,
Go ahead.
It just seemed like Brad was disagreeing a little bit with.
I like this though. Like, you're getting rid of the dives. They're not calling every single, like, if you fall over, you're not guaranteed to get the penalty. So sure, is it maybe a little too far? Maybe, but it's also week 2, so that's let things settle and see where it ends up. I'm with you. Like, I don't want to see anybody's leg broken, but these games have been a lot more fun. It's been a lot more open because those calls aren't happening every 2 minutes because somebody fell over.
So do you think? Well, let me go back to the Saka penalty then. Like, is Paul Tierney seeing that and like that's a dive, and that's why he doesn't give the penalty?
That could have been.
Man, I want to read that. I want to read that match officials report now.
Right? I wish we could see those.
What were you gonna say, Sean?
I just was going to argue slightly on both sides of the ball, both sides of this point, because to your point with Sam Dyche and Burnley, there was a clip in, I believe it was like about the 90th minute of a player 2-footed slide tackling around Harvey Elliott, and luckily missed.
Yeah.
But you're down 2-0
Yeah.
the 90th minute, and you go in with both feet up.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's a little across the line.
That's freaking.
He didn't get anything, which is why there wasn't a foul. But that's only because Elliott was aware enough to get his feet up.
It was such
Sean Dyche, right? Not Sam Dyche.
Yeah.
Oh, did I say Sam? I'm sorry.
I thought I said Sean.
You have Big Sam on your mind? Hey, wait a second. I know we used to make this joke that Big Sam was coming to Tottenham.
Yeah,
No,
maybe.
Does
Yeah,
Big
maybe
Sam end up at Arsenal?
Yeah, relegation battle.
Is this where we're going?
But on the other side, I support a team that is notoriously rough. When you have Dyer, Ali, Sanchez, and Højbjerg all in the same field, and God forbid Winks gets on the field all at the same time, it's bulls in china shops. And I got so annoyed with them just happening to bump into people. They fall over, and then there's a call. And they're not going in reckless. They're not going in with an intent to. They're just idiots. And I hated getting calls because they're dumb. Well, not Højbjerg, but definitely Dyer and Ali.
I mean, I've had some dumb people play for Arsenal in the past. I
feel like you should understand that coming from Xhaka. Like, he doesn't often go in with the intent to hurt. He's just an idiot sometimes. And like, it'd be nice to not get those chest bump calls.
Yeah.
Called against you.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's probably a balance.
Yeah.
Is it too far to let them play and like we're not calling dives? Possibly, but I'd rather it be this side than the game stopping every 3 minutes for a free kick. That's like, that shouldn't have been a free kick.
Whoever slid on Elliott, I don't want to see a penalty for that because he didn't get anything. But like, that's something that's going to go wrong. To your point,
Yeah.
that's exactly, something like that is going to go wrong.
That's exactly what I saw that.
And then there's going to be a fight because if somebody does that to my players, I'm coming off. If I'm a manager, I'm coming off the bench. Like, I'm fighting that kid.
Like,
you don't come in too. Yeah, I'm catching whatever ban comes.
Did you guys?
That dude's. I'm catching a ban, whatever 5-match suspension. But that dude is catching hands.
Yeah.
If he does that to my players.
Did you guys see the? Speaking of a fight, at the this is French football, the Nice-Marseille game.
Yes, I heard about this.
There was a brawl in this match. Somebody threw a beer bottle or something like that, and it hit
water bottle.
Okay, well, a bottle of some kind, and hit. It looked like it was filled with something yellow, so I thought it was beer, but I guess it could have been urine. Anyway, they threw a bottle, hit Dimitri Payet in the back, and then like the Marseille players come over to the Nice Ultras and are just like talking smack, and the Nice Ultras just get on the field, and it's just a melee. It's just a fight. It's good fun to watch.
He threw the bottle back too.
Oh yeah, heck yeah!
Yeah, instead of running our test, he just chucked the bottle back, and then they kept throwing bottles at him.
I would keep.
That's when the players came over.
Not good.
The ultras came down.
Not good for football. Hold on. Good to watch.
Do you guys know which Arsenal player is currently on loan at Marseille, and who is
Saliba?
Always down for a fight? Saliba's a good guess.
Is it Kovacic?
It's Guendouzi. Matteo Guendouzi. And that kid is always down for a fight. Like, when I saw that Marseille, I was like, oh, where is Guendouzi? And the first video is him just running in, ready for the fight. And I'm like, dude, this is the least surprising thing I've seen all weekend.
I thought it would have been your center defensive mid that was helping out Ozil when he almost got mugged.
Oh, Kolasinac.
Kolasinac, yeah. I thought it was him. I was like, that's who it is. That dude's ready to fight too.
He is also always down for a fight.
Like when you had him and Xhaka, that's a team you don't want ticky-tack calls. You don't want ticky-tack calls with those two on the field.
Quickly, let's talk about some games coming up next weekend. Arsenal playing the EFL Cup this weekend in the second round. Wouldn't that be funny if we lost to West Brom?
I can't wait.
But
I hope.
Well, you're not gonna. I'm sure you're not playing the first team.
Yeah, it should be the kids and the second teamers. That's who it should be. But we'll see. So we've got City. City host Arsenal Saturday morning. Villa hosts Brentford. Brighton hosts Everton. Newcastle hosts Southampton. Norwich hosts Leicester. West Ham hosts Palace. Liverpool hosts Chelsea. And then on Sunday, Burnley hosts Leeds. Spurs host Watford. And Wolves host Manchester United. Saturday, it's bookended with two what the Premier League thought would be really big games. City hosting Arsenal, and then Liverpool hosting Chelsea.
I didn't realize when we were previewing the season how much I'm not trying to rub salt in the wounds, how much you needed that 3 points at the beginning of the season. I think I just wrote it up as 3 points for Arsenal.
Are you talking about against Brentford?
Yeah, and then you take your lumps against City and Chelsea, and then kind of regroup and get ready for the season.
Yeah,
that's looking bleak because you can't count on out of those two games. You're probably hoping for a point, maybe 2, 3 at best.
I think when I went through the numbers with my heart.
Yeah.
I was taking 4 points I was taking 3 points from Chelsea and 1 point from City. And then when I went through and thought about it critically, I took 1 point from Chelsea and no points from City. So yeah.
I was thinking your best case scenario is 3 points. Your worst case scenario is 1. So now you're looking for your 1 away at City. Not that away at City's too intimidating. But
honestly, if we get a point at City, I'll be happy.
Yeah, you almost have to now that you did get your 3 at the beginning.
I mean, honestly, if you offer me right now today a draw at City, I think I'm taking it.
That's how I felt game 1, so I feel you.
I mean, I'm not flex. Like, there's no way that this Arsenal team, in its current form and its current psyche, beats Manchester City unless Pep just wants to do us a solid. If Pep wants to do his boy Mikel Arteta a solid and throw him a bone, by all means, bro. By all means, Pep. By all means, Pep.
Let's keep Arteta around a little bit longer. I hope Pep throws him a bone. Let's the draw happen.
So, throw us a bone and let us get a victory, Pep. I'm all for it.
We don't got a lot of fun ones here, but another one I would like to point out, other than clearly Liverpool Chelsea.
That'll be good.
I'm just ignoring that because I'm sure we'll talk about it. But Brighton Everton. Everton coming off probably to them a disappointing draw. To them, and then you go away to Brighton, who is undefeated so far, and like we chronicled earlier in the pod, against teams that are probably going to get relegated. So good for them, but this is a home game against a big boy team who just came off a disappointing draw. So if you want to stay up there at the top. Yeah, you got to get points home to Everton, and Everton. If you want to be up at the top, you got to get 3 points there.
Yeah,
that should be
good. That's going to be a scrap.
That's going to show if Brighton's real or not. I think.
Yeah, I think it will too. It's going to test their mettle.
I don't know if it's going to legitimize them for the season as a whole.
No, okay. It's a long season, but that's a good one. Resolve.
It's showing that they're mid-table or relegation. Where are they falling on the table?
Yeah.
Yeah, are you battling? I feel like are you battling for 7th, 8th, or are you battling for 12th, 13th for them? from what I've seen so far.
I don't think Brighton's going to be.
I don't think Brighton.
I think it's Brighton fine 10-13.
Yeah.
I think 10 is a high finish for them.
Yeah, I don't think Brighton has any aspirations of finishing 7th.
I don't think they want European football.
Clearly, I think they would absolutely take it, but like I don't think that's not on the radar of Brighton.
Hold on, we didn't talk about all the results because Tottenham didn't win all their games this week. Did they lose to Tacos?
It's Tacos de Ferreira.
It sounds like a great taco. I want one.
No, we've established this. It is a Latin dish with cubed pork with a vegetable cheese sauce over top of. The cubed pork is over rice, and then the cheese sauce over top. That's what their team sounds like.
Yep, I'm here for it.
I mean, I'm here for that too. That sounds delicious as well. But 1-0. I don't care if you're playing the kids.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Unacceptable.
I followed Tottenham for a long time. I knew 3 people on the entire field and bench.
It's still unacceptable.
And one of them was Nuno.
No, actually it wasn't. So I guess I got to count Nuno. But 3 players in total. And I followed their academy games. And I didn't recognize any names, if that gives you an idea. I was telling somebody, I hope we play the same exact squad when we play them again.
Yep.
Because I want the maximum, most disrespect to UEFA possible. To play literally no one near first team,
bro,
to this bullshit ass fucking competition.
Honestly, this is how you guys should play this entire competition. If you guys beat these guys in the return leg, great. If you lose to them, who the hell cares? If you guys get in the group stage, just play the kids. If the kids get out of the group stage, perfect. Like, if the kids make a run and go deep in the cup, awesome. If the kids get bounced from the group stage, who cares? This is, in my opinion, a zero consequence tournament for you guys. A zero consequence, like Tottenham should give as few fucks as possible about this game.
I hope they do. I want it as a big, giant, ice sculpted middle finger to UEFA. Of this is a bullshit money grab league. This shouldn't even be there. We didn't play well enough to be in Europe, period. Don't make up some tournament and just keep adding clubs.
Yeah,
you're diluting and diluting and diluting and diluting. At least Europa eventually gets entertaining. Eventually.
But it's money, and it gets like the smaller countries or outside of the top 5, it gets them a shot at Europe. I think that's the big thing here.
Yeah.
And I knew 3 players. So, like, I don't know here, Sean. Romero, Galini, and Gale played. All 3. I knew all 3 of them.
That was the 3 I knew.
You didn't know Sessegnon?
Oh, I forgot he's back. Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, he's back.
Wait, is this the same? Is this the same?
He was on. Yeah, we bought him on loan. We bought him and put him out on loan. I forgot he came back to the squad. Yeah, back, Sessegnon.
Honestly, guys, so
we got 5 out of 11.
Tottenham should not care about that match.
No, absolutely not.
But they should still win it.
I don't know. Like, who cares?
Yes.
I mean, if you're playing academy players against like grown ass men, like that's not just something that you should just win because you're a Tottenham academy player.
The only way. To that point, the only way I would welcome a deepish run, even if it's just barely out of the group stage, the only way that I would like that is it gives, to your point, it gives the young kids, bench players, academy players, games against real teams.
Yeah.
Not other academy players. These are
and travel.
And these are grown men, and I'm sure they do. I'm sure academy travels and they do certain things outside of playing in other English academy teams. I'm sure they do stuff outside of that, but like that's a 4th or 5th place Portuguese team? That's a real team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was I'll tell you this.
It's a real team.
When I say it's a real team, I'm to an academy team.
Okay.
If we played our first team and lost 1-0, I wouldn't be on this podcast. I would because this table would be flipped over.
Sean's out here.
Brian Gill not carry y'all?
Sean is
I thought
out
he was
here.
like the own child.
Sean,
I'm advocating for the Portuguese league over the Italian. Yes, I am.
Sean is consistently shitting on the Italian league, the Italian Serie A, and he's just like, well, the 4th or 5th place Portuguese team, that's a legitimate team. He's like, well, I've never. What is a Sampdoria? Who is a Sampdoria? I've never. What is a Fiorentina?
First of all,
what is it? What is this?
Was my team on FIFA. But
I just think it's hilarious.
I meant to 18-year-olds, not to our first team.
All right,
you're leaning into this hard, and I'm here for it.
We are long. We are long boys, so I need to cut us off.
All right.
But yeah, no. So I check back with us next week, and we'll have Sean's take on round 2 against the big boy team from Portugal. But as always, if you're still listening to us, we really appreciate it. If you could subscribe, if you could follow, if you could comment, if you could like, if you could rate it 5 stars, if you could share it with your mother and have her share it with her knitting group, that would be great. As always, this guy in the blue shirt, or if you're not listening, he's it's at KSBradG on Twitter. Down below is at Whiteheart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany. We're all on Twitter. We collectively on Twitter are at redcard_radio. Hit us up on Twitter. Tell us, tell me why I'm wrong about that stone cold penalty or something, and I'll tell you why you're wrong. And check back with us next week, and we'll have results from match week 3.
We're also previewing Portuguese Portuguese football next week.
Do you even know what the first division of Portuguese football is called?
It's like
you don't. All right, that's it.
And London is still blue.
Have a good night. We really appreciate it.